the parallel resonance. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the series resonance and the definition of the resonance. So if we recall the definition of the resonance, we have seen that despite the presence of energy storing elements, that means inductor and capacitor, if the circuit current is in phase with the supply voltage, then this condition is considered as a resonance. And the frequency for which this condition arises, this is called as the resonant frequency. In series resonance, we have seen that the inductor and capacitor should be connected in series. And now in parallel resonance, here the inductor and capacitor should be connected in parallel. So this is the circuit diagram where an inductive circuit, a resistive inductive branch, is in parallel with a resistive capacitive branch, where R is the resistance of the inductive branch, L is the inductance, R1 is the resistance of the capacitive branch, and C is the capacitance. V is the supply voltage and F is the frequency. So the circuit current is denoted by I, and this current will be divided into two branches. So I1 is in RL branch and I2 is in RC branch. So in parallel resonance, we cannot use a condition that is XL equal to XC for resonance that we have seen in the series circuit. Here the condition will be different. So before considering the condition, let's draw the phasor diagram of the currents with respect to the voltage. So here it is the phasor diagram of the parallel circuit. First of all, I have drawn the voltage as the reference V. The current in the RL circuit, that is I1, it will lag the voltage by an angle of phi 1, because we know that for inductive circuit, current always lag the voltage. So I1 is lagging the voltage by an angle of phi 1. Similarly, I2 is the current in the resistive capacitive branch, and the current in resistive capacitive branch should lead the voltage. So I2 is leading the voltage by an angle of phi 2. Now resolve both I1 and I2 into two components, that is in the horizontal and in the vertical components. So this is I1 and it is phi 1. So the horizontal component of the I1 will be I1 cos phi 1 and its vertical component is I1 sin phi 1. Similarly, the current I2 with phase angle phi 2. Therefore, its horizontal component will be I2 cos phi 2 and its vertical component is I2 sin phi 2. Here we can see that if I1 sin phi 1 and I2 sin phi 2 becomes equal, then they will cancel each other because they are in opposite direction on y-axis. So once I1 sin phi 1 and I2 sin phi 2 cancel each other, therefore the current in the circuit, that is I1 cos phi 1 and I2 cos phi 2, will only be present, and these currents will be in phase with the supply voltage. Therefore, for a parallel resonant circuit, the condition is the reactive component of the current, the reactive components of current should be 0, and the frequency for which the reactive components of the current become 0, let's say it is the resonant frequency, that is Fr. So Fr is the resonant frequency for which the I1 sin phi 1 will be equal to I2 sin phi 2. So the condition for resonance in a parallel circuit is the net reactive component of the currents should be 0 and the corresponding frequency is resonant frequency and it is Fr. So we can also write omega r is equal to 2 pi Fr. That can also be possible. So the condition for resonance can be written as I1 sin phi 1 should be equal to I2 sin phi 2. This is the condition for resonance. In parallel circuit. So now use this formula and to find the resonant frequency. So in this circuit, the I1 will be the voltage upon the impedance of the RL branch. I2 will be voltage upon impedance of the capacitive branch, because these two branches are connected in parallel across the supply voltage V. And sin phi 1 and sin phi 2, these two value will obtain from the impedance triangle that we have already discussed in previous lectures. So the value of I1 can be written as V upon square root of R square plus XL square, because in the RL circuit the impedance is square root of R square plus XL square. The sin phi 1 can be written as XL upon square root of R square plus XL square. This we have obtained from the impedance triangle. Similarly, I2 will be V upon square root of R1 square plus X square, and sin phi 2 will be XC upon square root of R1 square plus X square. So let's simplify this relation. So at first V will be cancelled from both the sides. So it will be XL upon R square plus XL square, because it will be multiplied, and it will be equal to XC upon R1 square plus X square. Now at resonant frequency we can write XL equal to omega R into L, and it is R square plus omega R square L square, and XC can be written as 1 upon omega RC upon R1 square plus 1 upon omega R square C square. So in the next step it is omega R into L upon R square plus omega R square L square. Here after simplification it will be omega R into C upon R1 square C square omega R square plus 1. If you simplify this, you will get this value. Now here again the omega R is cancelled from both sides. So it is L upon R square plus omega R square L square is equal to C upon R1 squared C square omega R square plus 1. Now cross multiply this. So it will be C into R square plus omega R square L square C, and it is equal to omega R square R1 square C square L plus L. Next, in one side place all the value with omega R square, and in other side the rest of the parameters. So it will be omega R square L square C minus omega R square R1 square C square L is equal to L minus C R square. So the next step is, from here we can take omega R square LC as common. So it will be omega R square LC, and it will be L minus C R1 square, and in this side it will be L minus C R square. So the next is omega R square can be written as 1 upon LC and L minus C R square upon L minus C R1 square. Therefore, omega R can be written as 1 upon square root of LC and square root of L minus C R square upon L minus C R1 square. And finally, we can write omega R can be written as 2 pi FR. So 2 pi FR is equal to 1 upon root LC square root of L minus C R square upon L minus C R1 square. So finally, resonant frequency FR will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi root LC and square root of L minus C R square upon L minus C R1 square. So this is the expression of the resonant frequency of a parallel circuit. So this is the expression of the resonant frequency. It is basically the generalized expression. If we see the circuit diagram, in the circuit diagram we have considered the resistance in both the branches. That is, R is the resistance in the inductive branch, R1 is the resistance of the capacitive branch. Now there may be some special cases. So the first case is if R1 is equal to 0. That means if there is no resistance in the capacitive branch. Then in that case, if R1 is considered as 0, then the corresponding resonant frequency will be, this value will become 0. So the value of FR will be equal to 1 upon 2 pi root LC square root of L minus C R square upon L. So if the resistance of the capacitive branch is equal to 0, then the corresponding resonant frequency can be represented by this expression. Similarly, if R1 and R both are 0, that means the resistance of both the branch is 0, then what happened? In this expression, R and R1 both are 0. So this part will be ignored and it will be square root of L upon L, that is square root of 1. So finally, the resonant frequency will be 1 upon 2 pi root LC. So this is the resonant frequency of a parallel circuit when the resistance of both the branches are 0. That means only an inductor and a capacitor are connected in series, in parallel. Then the resonant frequency will be same as that of resonant frequency in the series circuit. In previous lecture, we have already seen that the resonant frequency of a series circuit is 1 upon 2 pi root LC. So in parallel circuit also, the expression of the resonant frequency is same as that of series circuit if only the inductor and capacitors are connected in parallel. Now try to find the net circuit current of a parallel circuit at resonant condition. If we see the circuit and corresponding phasor diagram once again, here we can see that the net circuit current is I and it has two components, that is I1 and I2. From the phasor diagram, we have seen that the I1 and I2 can be resolved into two components. One is the active component and another is the reactive component. So the resonance will occur when I1 sin phi 1 is equal to I2 sin phi 2. And in that case, these two parts will cancel each other. So net reactive component of the circuit will become 0. So in this case, what will be the net circuit current? It will be I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. So the circuit current at resonance should be equal to I, and it will be equal to I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2, and this circuit current will be in phase with the supply voltage, that is V. So now we will find the value of I. So initially we will consider the resistance of the capacitive branch is equal to 0, that means R1 is equal to 0. So let R1 is equal to 0, that is the resistance of the capacitive branch. So from the circuit we can see that if R1 is equal to 0, then I2 can be written as V upon XC only, because R1 is 0, so it will be only V upon XC. And at resonant frequency, the XC can be written as 1 upon 2 pi FRC. I2 is equal to V upon XC, and it will be V upon 1 upon 2 pi FR into C. Instead of XC, we have written this, the capacitive reactance at resonant frequency. So after simplification, it will be 2 pi FRC into V. So this is the magnitude of the current in capacitive branch when the resistance of the branch is equal to 0. Now the power factor of the capacitive branch cos phi 2, it is the resistance of the capacitive branch upon impedance of the capacitive branch, Z of, we can say, RC. And as the R1 is equal to 0, then cos phi 2 will be equal to 0. And cos phi 2 0 means the value of sin phi 2 should be equal to 1, because cos phi 2 0, that means phi 2 will be 90 degree. So sin phi 2 will be equal to 1. Now in the resistive inductive circuit, once again we write the expression of the current. So I1 will be equal to V upon Z of RL. This is the impedance of the RL branch. The power factor will be cos phi 1, and it will be R upon impedance, that is impedance of RL branch. And the sin phi 1 can be written as XL upon impedance of the RL branch. Here ZRL is nothing but the impedance of the resistive inductive circuit, resistive inductive branch, that is square root of R square plus XL square, that we will implement later. Now recall the condition of the resonance of a parallel circuit again, and it was I1 sin phi 1 should be equal to I2 sin phi 2. And now put these values that we have written here. So instead of I1 it will be V upon Z of RL. Sin phi 1 will be XL upon Z of RL. I2 is equal to 2 pi FRC into V. So it is 2 pi FRC into V, and sin phi 2 is equal to 1 into 1. So V cancel from both sides. XL can be written as 2 pi FR into L upon square of impedance of RL branch. So RL in ZRL into ZRL, so it will be ZRL square, and here it is 2 pi FR into C. So we can see that 2 pi FR will be cancelled from both sides. So it is L by Z of RL square, and it is equal to C. So finally we can write Z of RL square is equal to L upon C. So you have got some expression that will be used later. So Z of RL square is equal to L upon C. Now see the total current of the circuit that we have written initially. That is I equal to I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. So now here we will find the values of I. So we can write I is equal to, the value of I1 was, as we have already written here, the value of I1 was V upon ZRL. I just write the expressions once again. It will be I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. So instead of I1 we can write V upon ZRL. Cos phi 1 is R upon ZRL. So it is R upon Z of RL. I2 is equal to 2 pi FRC into V. So it is 2 pi FRC into V. And cos phi 2 is equal to 0. Because R1 is 0, so cos phi 2 will be equal to 0. So here it will be multiplied by 0. So the second term will become completely 0. It should be plus, not equal. It should be plus. Because I1 cos phi 1, so it is I1 cos phi 1. It is I2, 2 pi FRCV is the I2, and cos phi 2, 0. It is plus. So the second term becomes 0. Therefore, the value of I will be V into R upon Z of RL square. We have already calculated the value of ZRL square. Here it is ZRL square equal to L upon C. So in this expression we can write V into R, and instead of ZRL square we can write L upon C. So finally the current can be written as V upon L by C into R, or it can be also written as V R C by L. But basically we consider this formula only. We know that in a series circuit the current is expressed as voltage upon impedance. So here I have written I is equal to V upon L by CR. So definitely L by CR will represent some impedance. This is called equivalent impedance of the circuit at resonant condition, and it is equal to L by CR. This is the equivalent impedance of parallel circuit at resonance condition. And this is the net current of the circuit. Net current of the circuit, that is I equal to V upon Z equivalent. So we can write it once again. So I is equal to V upon Z equivalent, where Z equivalent is equal to L by CR. That is the current and the equivalent impedance of the circuit. So L by CR is also considered as a dynamic impedance. And remember one thing, at resonant condition, that means at resonant frequency FR, Z equivalent is maximum. At resonant frequency, the Z equivalent is maximum. And once the Z equivalent is maximum, therefore the circuit current will be minimum. So the circuit current that is I equal to V upon Z equivalent is minimum. So for a parallel circuit, if we indicate the main points, the first point is the phase angle is 0. That means the angle between supply voltage and circuit current is 0. So the power factor cos phi should be 1. The impedance at resonance is maximum. Therefore, the circuit current is minimum. And impedance is L by CR and I is V upon L by CR. It can be seen that at resonant condition in a parallel circuit, the branch current is much greater than the total current or the circuit current. That means the current in the capacitive branch I2 is much greater than the total current in terms of the RMS value or the magnitude. Therefore, it can be considered as a current magnification. In case of series resonance, we have seen that there was voltage magnification, but in case of parallel circuit, the current can be magnified. That's why the parallel circuit also sometimes called as the current resonance. And as the circuit current, that means the total current, is much lesser than the branch currents, that means the circuit will reject to flow the current. That's why the parallel circuit is also called as the rejector circuit. It can be recalled that the series resonant circuit was considered as the acceptor circuit because at resonant condition the current in the series circuit becomes maximum, whereas in parallel circuit the current becomes minimum during resonance condition. So this is also considered as a rejector circuit. Now mainly the circuit is considered during parallel resonance. We can draw the circuit again. Here it is considered as there will be only resistance and inductance in one branch and only a capacitance in the other branch. That means the resistance of the capacitive branch considered as 0. So generally this type of circuit is considered for the parallel resonance. So V is the supply voltage, frequency, capacitance, total current, current in the RL branch and current in the capacitive branch. This type of circuit is considered as the tank circuit. This type of circuit is called as a tank circuit and it is basically used in communication purpose. Now the quality factor of a parallel circuit. As we have discussed here, in parallel circuit during resonance, the branch currents are much greater than the total circuit current. Therefore, the quality factor of a parallel circuit can be defined as it is the ratio of the branch current to the total current. So if we consider the tank circuit, that is the RL in one branch and capacitor in other branch. So in this case, the branch current, that means the current in the capacitive circuit I2, is much greater than the total current, that is I, and it will be occurred at resonant frequency. So FR is the resonant frequency. So this ratio is considered as a quality factor. As we have already seen that if the resistance of a capacitive branch becomes 0, then the corresponding current of the capacitive branch is 2 pi FR C into V, that we have already discussed during total circuit current calculation. So here instead of I2 we can write 2 pi FR C into V, and the value of the total current, that is I, we have written it as V upon L by CR, or it can be written as V into RC upon L. So instead of I, we can write V RC upon L. So it is V RC upon L. So if we modify it, it will be 2 pi FR CVL upon V into C into R. So V and C is cancelled. So the quality factor is 2 pi L upon R into FR. And if we consider the magnitude of the resonant frequency, so it can be written as 2 pi L upon R into 1 upon 2 pi root LC. So 2 pi is cancelled, and now the quality factor becomes, here it is L and it is square root of L. So it can be written as 1 upon R root L upon C. So this is the quality factor of a parallel circuit at resonant condition. And the expression of the quality factor is same as that of the quality factor in the series circuit. But here the quality factor indicates the current magnification factor. It is called the current magnification factor. And in series circuit, the quality factor indicates the voltage magnification factor. Because in case of series circuit, the voltage is magnified, and in case of parallel circuit, the current is magnified. Similarly, if we consider the bandwidth in a parallel circuit, the expression of the bandwidth will be again same as we have seen in the series circuit, and it is R upon 2 pi L. So this is the bandwidth. That's all. Thank you.